Tom Vassell.
Z Garcia, hello.
Sam Healy, welcome back, folks.
Hey, it's part 2. We're now into the 90. You know, people, whenever we do these top 100s of all time, people like 100. Oh, I'll watch. And they're like, okay, I'll come back for 10 through 1.
That's true.
This is the
It
part.
is weird that it's the middle that gets the least amount of attention. That seems strange.
And yet, these are 10 really good games.
Yeah.
Like, if these 10 games were on the shelf, I want to play them all right now.
Yes.
It's pretty high. I have 2 new entries this time, and I think the People's Choice has 2 new entries. Oh, 3 new entries for the People's Choice list.
I have 3 new entries myself. Yeah, and I did go ahead and count how many new ones I had. You said you had about 25.
Yeah.
You had about 30. I have 28, but they are not all new games.
Well, same here. Of those 25, there's some that have resurgence for me.
Yeah, and for all I know, they were on this list 2 years ago, but I only compared the list with the very previous list.
I've got 3 new entries, one of which is a resurgency from 2 years ago.
Ooh, what could it be? Let's find out. Okay, my number 90 has been on my list for a really long time.
82 years.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only have 8 on this sheet here, but I think it's been longer than that.
Boom.
And it's probably on Sam's top 100 because he likes this game even more than me, and that's Coliseum. Coliseum had the
Top 10, baby.
maybe
Top 20, baby.
keep going till you get it. Coliseum just had was it last year the Tasty Minstrel one came out, or was it this year?
No, it was last year.
Last year. But and it's still great. That version's fine, but I like the Days of Wonder version the best. But I like the theming of that game. I like how it's basically put on a show, and it has a strong trading element in it, which I enjoy. Trade with the people to get what I want. It's a lot of fun. It's a simple game, beautifully produced with a fun theme. I'm still kind of mind-boggled that more people don't play this and like it. Like it's one of their duds from Days of Wonder, but I thought it was a great game. Coliseum, my number 90.
My number 90 is a little tile manipulation game from a company called Backspindle Games, and it is called Kodinka.
Wow,
This is an abstract strategy. Yeah, well, it's been in my top 100 ever since it came out. It was at 37 last year, so it has slipped a bit. But again, that's just it really fits best as a 2-player game, and 2-player games just don't get played as much right now. So that's probably why it slipped. It's just not getting played like it was last year, but it's still there, and I still really enjoy the game. It has a great mechanism of having a hand of cards that you're trying to accomplish their goals, and once the first person finishes all of those goals, then they're the winner. But you do so by manipulating how these tiles are positioned within a grid, and then what side they're flipped over to. So it is definitely an abstract game, but it is a compact one, and I really enjoy it. So my number 90, Kodinka.
My number 90 is a legacy game called Charterstone. This is a new entry to the list, and I really enjoy the fact that it's such a clean game, such quick turns. The legacy aspect is there, but it is pretty straightforward, and it's all resource management. But again, the turns are so quick that's really what puts it, that's a big part of what puts it on the list for me. I love being able to play a Euro game in which I very quickly do my turn, I grab a couple of resources, I look down for a sec to check my plan, it's my turn again. That's fantastic. I could definitely see the rise of Queensdale, which we haven't finished playing. Maybe
At some point.
maybe knocking this one off, honestly, because they're very similar in many ways. They're both very quick, and they kind of have a similar vibe. But as of right now, Charterstone is solidly on my list. A really neat design. That's my number 90.
And the People's Choice, number 90, this is the second year this has been on the list, and that is Arcadia Quest, which I'm kind of surprised that it's so high, actually. I like it a lot, and I know a lot of people who really like it, but it doesn't do as well as like the zombie sides and the blood rages of the world. But it's a lot of fun, and we'll see where Arcadia Quest shows up when it comes out next year. I'm looking forward to that. So, People's Choice, your choice, Arcadia Quest. Number 89 for me is new to the list. Came out this year. Actually, as of us recording this, it's still not technically out in stores yet. It was out at Origins and Gen Con, but it hasn't hit the main retail, and that's Reef.
Really?
Oh.
Reef isn't technically out?
It is not technically out
Oh,
yet.
okay, all right.
It's
all right.
technically it's coming out around Essen.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
But I know. It just seems like it's.
Seems like it's
Playing
been
that
out.
back in April.
It seems like it's been out for a while,
March?
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's been out, but I really like it, and I really think when it comes out, it's going to be a pretty big hit. Maybe not as big as Azul, obviously, but a big deal. I like it. It's simple. You play a card. You take a card to play a card. When you play a card, you put pieces out, then you score. But it offers more depth. It's one of my, at this point, I think, a go-to gateway game. If someone's never played games before, Reef is a great one for that one.
Wow.
So I like
Not
it.
even out yet.
Well, I thought it was.
His go-to gateway game that has yet to be released.
Well, I have it.
I really like this game. Where can I get it? You can't.
Not yet.
Well, again, by the time you're watching this, it's really close. I know it's coming out soon.
All right, my number 89 is a game that you can go out and buy. It's on the shelves right now. Well, I think it is at least. It was my 85 last year, so it's only slipped a few. It's probably going to settle right around this area because I do really enjoy it. It's a cooperative game, team game rather. One team versus the other. Captain Sonar. This is a great, fun game. It has a lot of interaction between your teammates and even a little bit between the other team as well. Really enjoy. Yeah, just reach over the thing. Mess up. But it's just a great thing. Everybody has their own station that they're working on the sub, and you're trying to knock the other sub out of the water. And it's just a great team game. I enjoy it a lot. Captain Sonar, my number 89.
A very unique game. All right, my number 89 is the game that you can buy and buy and buy and keep buying. This is Magic the Gathering. This was 91 last year, so it's right around
Is
the
this
same.
available right now in stores?
You can get this.
Yes.
You can get it. Magic the Gathering, the quintessential. I said that word wrong twice. The quintessential
Yes.
collectible card game. I really enjoy it still. It's one that I play very casually, and I honestly these days don't even build decks. I just play with the dual decks. You buy them pre-made, you bust that out, shuffle it, play. But it's fun. It's immersive. It's got a lot going on, but it's still a really admirable design. And I still like it. In fact, I just played about 4 or 5 days ago one of those dual decks. So Magic the Gathering, just dip your toe, though, in that water, folks. Watch out.
Quick sidebar here. This happens every time Z or me puts us on our list. We're not saying these are the best games of all time. These are our favorite games of all time. So
Oh, is that
people are
something?
like, well, so every time people are like, I can't believe Magic's at number 89.
No.
Yeah, for us.
Yeah. I just when you said dip your toe into it, my mind went to the scene in the Fellowship of the Ring when they're standing outside the Mines of Moria, and Frodo dips his foot into the water and stirs the water, and then the thing and pulls it.
That is Magic the Gathering. That's gotcha. All right. People's Choice number 89 has been on their list for a long time, and that is Shadows over Camelot.
Oh, cool.
Really very popular game. I know.
That's still on the top 100.
Is that
Holy cow.
that available to buy these days? I guess maybe it is.
I think so.
I would imagine
I
it
think
is.
that's like always in print.
Good night.
It's one that's done very well for me. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Talk about an evergreen.
Hey, I'm
Wow.
glad. It's good to see good games on the
That's
list
good.
there. Shadows over Camelot, you're number 89. My number 88 has been on this is the third year that it's been on the list. It's dropped slightly, 61, not too much. And the reason I guess it's dropped is because it's only a two-player game, although technically you can play it with 4, but I don't play that way, and that's Rum and Bones.
Second tide? Or
Second Tide, I mean, this is one of those times where it just essentially replaced the first game.
Yeah.
No one is sitting around going, "Well, I played first edition." I don't think anyone's doing that.
Probably because they didn't get the second one, which is fine, but the second one was a streamlining of the first. There's no denying that.
Right. The thing is, it's a huge game, really, lots of pieces. It doesn't take a long time to play, but it's a huge game and all that. Like, I have 4 boxes worth of stuff, and it's a 2-player game, which is probably why it's not higher, because I like 2-player games, but like when you say Magic, you're like, 2 decks, let's play.
Sure.
Rum and Bones, I'm like, Mom, here we go. I still like it a lot, though. I love the piratey theme. It's one of the most piratey games there is.
Second tide does make it more viable with more players.
Sure, I just won't play it that way. I want to share my army.
Makes sense.
There you go. All right, my number 88 is a game that I think has been on my top 100 ever since it came out. It has gone through a second edition as well, which is the one that is now populating my list. It was number 80 last year, Cash and Guns 2.0.
Wow.
And this is...
Another one where the second edition is kind of
it just really kind of took over from the first one. It just took some of the clunkiness of the first edition, threw it out, and added in some other stuff that wasn't nearly as clunky and made the game better. It really just shines every time it comes out. It gets flack because you're pointing foam guns at people, but they're foam guns, and it's a joke, and it's fun. So that's my number 88, Cash and Guns 2.0.
All right, my number 88 is one that has not been on my list before, but it's probably because I couldn't decide how to put it on the list. This is Unlock. And there's a lot of these escape room games out there, and honestly, as a category, it's sort of hard to pick one set or one game or one line. So I finally decided, Unlock is my favorite line out of all of these. There's Exit, and there's Deckscape, and Unlock, several others. Unlock is my favorite. I like the look better. I like the puzzles. I just like the way it operates the best. It's app assisted. I like that too. So I really enjoy these escape room games. A lot of people clearly do because they're really popular. So Unlock is my number 88. I would definitely recommend you check some of those out. Pick whichever one's theme appeals to you if you haven't played some of them already. So
I highly agree with the idea of putting escape rooms together as a single entry. Okay, so number 88 for people is a crossover with Sam. In this top 10, actually, that's Captain Sonar.
Woohoo!
Second year on the list.
Oh,
65
man.
last year.
Voice of the people.
This is one of those games that I see played at. This is like one of those convention games. Every convention I go to, I see someone playing it usually.
Yeah.
And it's just it is a lot of fun. I know you like Sonar better. I don't think that one has taken off the same way though.
No. I mean, also it was like a Target exclusive, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't always help too. So anyway, your choice for 88, Captain Sonar. All right, my number 87 was on the list last year at number 60. And this is very close to Reef, actually, from the same company, Century Spice Road. Mm-hmm. Or Century Golden Edition.
Well, which one is it, though? Yeah, I'm assuming you have both on your list.
I don't. Well, anyhow.
I'm kidding.
Century Spice Road, again, I like the simplicity of the game. In fact, they were just playing it last night at the game group. Again, it's just one of those games when someone new comes to the store and I look at the demo shelf, like, what's a good game to teach them? This is probably the first one I bring out at this point.
Not Reef.
It's not there yet.
Backsies.
But I do like the new version, Century Eastern Wonders, but that is not on my list. Century Spice Road, the quickness of it. I like Eastern Wonders. I like the speed of the first one, and it just plays over and over and over well together. So Century Spice Road, 87.
My number 87 is a game that's probably going to show up higher on Z's list. And
I'll tell you, I'll be honest.
Is Neuroshima Hex.
Yes, it will.
And it was number 69 last year. It has slipped a little bit, probably because of I rarely play it on a table anymore.
I always play it on a table.
He plays it on his lap.
Yeah. No, it's an app. I play the app.
Yeah, but I put the app on the
right.
table.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, baby, I got around that.
Yep, you
put
did.
Put the iPad on the table.
And then play.
Bam.
You don't do that. You hold it in your hands.
I do.
So Neuroshima Hex is a really cool two-player game where you're simply just, you have your own army that has its own faction and abilities and way that it interacts with each other and the board, and your other opponent has the same thing, and you're populating this grid, and then at some point, boop,
bam!
Exactly, bam! People just start opening fire,
vanishing.
And things get knocked out, and then you start rebuilding again, and it's just a really cool strategic game.
I'm curious where both of you will put the new one. What's it called?
Monolith Arena.
Monolith Arena. That's coming out at Essen this year. I'm curious where that will show up next year, because it looks like Neuroshima Hex I would say 2.0, but Hiroshima Hex is on 3.0 currently.
Yes, it is.
4.
It's inspired by very clearly.
Yes, very clearly.
So that's my number 87, Hiroshima Hex.
And Hiroshima Hex, by the way, is technically a multiplayer game, but nobody does that.
plays that.
All right, my 87 is a new game to the list. This is a big one, Rising Sun.
Wow, really?
This
Rising Sun, yeah. I'm
No,
not.
for him, this is pretty
For
high.
me, this is really high, actually. I really enjoy the game. I like the theme. I like the big, chunky plastic miniatures. I like most everything that's going on in the game. I do prefer the game with fewer players. I've come to discover. I also don't tend to do as badly when there are fewer players at the table because, boy, am I bad at this game. I am bad at this game. But I really enjoy it. It's a captivating experience with...
No, you're not.
Huh?
I said, no, you're not.
Oh, I'm bad.
Nah, it was just a token. Keep going.
Good. I really enjoy it. It's one that's the word that comes to mind is just captivating. It's a captivating experience. So I really enjoy Rising Sun. 87 for
I'm
me.
trying to remember if you like that better than Blood Rage or not. I guess we'll find out.
Oh, you don't?
All right. Cool.
Oh, I thought you did.
All right, 87 for the people's choice is Ghost Stories. This has been on the list for a long time from them.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Boo.
People agree with us.
No, ghosts say boo.
Boo.
Casper, the friendly ghost.
Boo.
So ghosts are like not cheering for you. You walk in, they're like, boo. What I do?
Right.
All right, anyway, Ghost Stories, very hard co-op, and one that's kind of in and out of print. Like, it's sometimes I see it on the store shelf, sometimes I don't.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, but it's been in print for a long time now.
Yeah. All righty. My number 86 is the fourth year it's been on the list. It is the first game from Pretzel Games. They got a new one coming out soon called Men at Work. But this is Flick 'em Up.
Land down under.
And I really like the whole Western motif of this one. I also like the team aspect. There's a lot of team games which are essentially, hey, it's a two-player game, and we're splitting up the characters. And that's kind of like what this one is, but this one, it works a lot better because it's a little easier to control one or two people than it is to control like all six on a team or whatever.
Yes, right.
And some of the crazy shots in this one, I'm a big fan of flicking games anyway. This is not the only one on the list, but this is one I enjoy a lot. Flick 'em up.
My number 86 was my Resurgency Wasabi. And this was 95 2 years ago. So it has climbed a little bit.
So it fell off last year.
Yeah.
And now it's back on.
Fell off, came back up, and
That's because we've been eating more sushi lately.
no.
Is that what it is?
I guess when I go through these lists, I'm reminded of all the different games that have been throughout the years, and some just come back.
It
no, I agree
A lot
with
of
you.
games also hover around the top third of the list that might jump off and jump back on just
Yeah.
because we happen to be cutting it at 100.
Right. Yeah. So I really enjoy the game. It's a great little tile laying game where you're trying to finish different kinds of menus, I guess you could say, or recipes on the board in a certain order. If you get it in a perfect sequential order, just like it's listed on the menu card, then you score extra wasabi cubes, which can be extra points for you
so
and
delicious.
different things like that. So I really enjoy the game a lot. It's very fun. It looks great on the table as well. It's my number 86, Wasabi.
I wouldn't mind if wasabi came in cubes.
You can shape it into cubes, I
Yeah.
suppose. It is a paste.
You definitely can.
Well, I don't want to go to that kind of effort.
I know what they
Wow.
got you for Christmas, a wasabi cube maker. It's a little mold. Shove wasabi in
Like
there.
ice cubes.
Look at that! All right. Yeah, you can cut it. All right, my number 86 is it's a bidding and sort of tile laying game called Palazzo. This is a Reiner Knizia game. This was 70 last year, 86 right now. And this one and Alhambra always are in contention for me as a simple, very introductory kind of tile laying game. Alhambra did in fact drop off the list. It's at 102.
Oh.
But Palazzo is just a little bit cleaner, and it still gives me a little bit more of a bite for gamers around the table. Like I said, you collect money and then you bid on tiles. You use those tiles to build palaces. It's a small package. It's quick. It's about 30 minutes. I've always had success teaching this one to just about anybody, so I really enjoy it. Palazzo, 86 for me.
Yeah, this is one of those ones I think that you're one of the few people who plays it. Because you mentioned Alhambra, that's on the People's Choice at like 118 or whatever. Palazzo, I don't even see it.
They're so similar, that's weird that they wouldn't.
I never played Palazzo, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Collect cards that are money, but then you bid instead of just straight up buying something. It's largely it.
All right, People's Choice agrees with Z this time. This one's been on the list since we've started, although it keeps dropping some years. Last year was 61. Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
And again, because most of the people who watch our show play it probably as casual as you do.
Probably.
I'm sure there's a few diehard fans out there, but most people probably play those dual decks or the starter decks and casually. Or they played it at one point before they got into board gaming, and now it's a nostalgic look.
Yeah, now they've rebuilt their credit back up, and they look back on it fondly.
I can buy a house now. So you're 86, Magic the Gathering. My number 85 is new to the list and a crossover with Z in this top 10 itself.
Bam, hold up. Wait a minute, Charterstone.
It is Charterstone, yes. Although, for different reasons, actually, because you all have only played Charterstone through the legacy portion of it.
Yes, once it was completed, I did not then play a finalized copy.
After it's been completed, I made my own custom copy, and I really like it. It's like a great worker placement game. Almost feels like I took Tuscany and we played Viticulture and added some of the modules one at a time. Has that same kind of feel to it, and it just plays really well as a final game. So I'm not every game from Stonemaier is on my list, but some of their games really hit me well, and Charterstone is one of those.
Yeah.
My number 85 is a new addition to the list. It is not a new game, though. It's been out for some time now, but I was introduced to the British history version of it last year, and then I have tried other iterations of it this year, and that is Timeline.
Good choice.
Timeline, I had the idea. I saw it when we were over in London last year at, I can't remember the name of the shop now. Drafts, yes, or Droughts, or...
Say drafts.
It's drafts, yeah, but it's
Subway Station Tunnel.
Yes, but anyway, saw it there. I said, thought this would be interesting to play because I was planning on going to Nottingham the next day, and I thought I think it would be fun to have the Yank play a bunch of Brits in British timeline history. So we did. We had a great time with it. Played it again in Birmingham as well, and then
we played it on a train, didn't we? I feel like we did.
We did, I think.
We played a timeline on a train.
I don't think so, because I went to Nottingham. You guys took a train.
I think it was maybe when we came back. I don't know what it was. We played timeline. Oh, we played it on the train to and from London.
I think it's because Luke bought a copy himself.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't with you guys. I was traveling to Nottingham when you guys were going to.
Just saying that the Americans won.
Anyway, really, they did? I was one card away from winning, but I got beat. So props to the Brits. Anyway, Timeline is a great game where you're just trying to you're trying to get rid of your cards, and you're trying to fit you do that by placing them into the timeline that is on the table already. And if you get it right, then you've gotten rid of one of your cards. If you don't get it right, you have to draw another one. But it's really simple. It's really fun. It's a great gateway game experience as well. So that's my number 85, Timeline.
Timeline Cuban history is what I'm waiting for.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Not coming soon. My number 85 is Notre Dame. This is a Stefan Feld game. There's a couple of his games on my list. Notre Dame or Notre Dame was 69 last year. It's dropped just a little bit, but it's a game that I still really enjoy. It's got a few different things that usually make up their own game on their own, such as drafting and some action selection. It's got this really cool idea of that you recently told me about, was in another game, I forget what game, in which if you put a cube somewhere, you'll do that thing, whatever that thing is, once. If you put another cube there later on, it counts the one previously left there, and you do that twice. And so you can make some areas fantastic. You are ignoring other things by doing that, of course.
Architects of the West Kingdom.
There we go, Architects of the West Kingdom. It's a very Feldian concept. It's a really neat game. Not much of a looker, unfortunately, as are most Alea games, but it's a really clever and interesting drafting and action selection game. So Notre Dame, my 85.
Okay. Speaking of games that don't look good, the People's Choice 85 is new to the list. It's a fun game, but it doesn't look that great.
Bag of rocks.
Ethnos.
Ethnos gets such
Ethnos.
a bad rap for its look. I will never understand it.
Why it looks so poorly?
I don't know. I don't think it looks that bad.
It doesn't look that bad.
I think it does. Well, anyhow.
Most people apparently do, right? That's weird. I think it's all right.
Yeah.
Well, either way, this one is one of those sleeper hit type things. I remember last year when we first talked about it, we're like, this game's great, but no one was talking about it. Then as the year went by, I saw more and more. We went to Dice Tower Con. Everybody was playing Ethnos everywhere. It's a simple, fun game. I really enjoy it.
First time I think we played this, it was during our evacuation, Hurricane Irma, up in Orlando, I think.
Maybe.
At the Cool Stuff Incorporated. We went up there and we played games that one night.
Was it that year? Was it what?
Yep. Almost positive.
Wow. Oh, no, that's the first time you played it.
Maybe so.
Yeah. All right, so that's Ethnos, your number 85. My number 84 was on the list last year at 90, so it's actually gone up, and that's because between this year and last year and this year, they came out with a new version of this party game that's phenomenally better, and that's When I Dream. The original When I Dream was fun and nice. The new one is amazing. It has a little bed, and the cards look very Dixit-ish.
Yes,
This is such a great party
wonderful
game.
production. Yeah.
And also great marketing at Essen last year. There was a guy walking around like sleeping.
Yeah.
Anyhow, When I Dream is such a good. One person has their eyes closed and they're hearing people give clues, except some people are giving wrong clues. And that just makes for a fun, entertaining time, a bit of imagination, a bit of storytelling. I really like it. When I Dream.
My number 84 is a new arrival to the list, and it is a new-ish game. I was introduced to it last year at Essen, so it's almost been out a year now, and that is Samurai Gardener. Now, Samurai Gardener is a card-laying game that has a throwback from me.
Is this the one with the symbols?
To no, it is a throwback for me to the the Hanging Gardens. Hanging Gardens has a very similar vibe to Hanging Gardens for me. You're basically trying to score different kinds of garden landscapes by laying cards on it in certain areas. The problem is that you can't score the same section more than once. So after that section is scored, you have to now build onto another one and score that other section. And you have scoring cards, one for each of the different kinds of landscapes. Once you score that section, you flip it over. You can't flip it. You can't score it again until you've scored all the other ones as well. So it sounds convoluted. It really isn't. I just didn't do a very good job of explaining it. Number 84, Samurai Gardener by Osprey.
My number 84 was 35 last time. This is Blue Moon City, and it has not...
Blue Moon City?
Blue Moon City, yeah. It has not dropped because I haven't played it. Quite the opposite, actually. I think it's dropped a little bit because I have been playing it a lot. And while I really enjoy the game, I have kind of... I've really played this game quite a bit. I'm a little burnt out on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Still a fantastic design. I still love the look of it. It's one that is technically out of print, but will be coming back into print a little later this year from CMON. But with a new look, a new sort of, it's the same game, but a brand new coat of paint on it. It's a really solid midweight Euro game. This was a Spiel des Jahres nominee some years ago. I still really like it. I think a little burnt out on it, so when I was making the list, it dropped a bit for me. But still on the list, 84, Blue Moon City.
All right. My number 80, or the People's Choice, number 84, is a three-way crossover between me, Z, and them, and that's Charterstone.
Wow.
Again,
Okay.
this is not too surprising because the internets do love them Stonemaier games.
Yes.
And this will not be
time.
the only Stonemaier game you see on the list here, but this one has done very well. It's almost like a sleeper legacy hit again. Like Pandemic got all the legacy love for a while. Seafall got all the legacy hate for a while, and then Charterstone came out, and I think people are still playing, enjoying it. I still see it sold at stores.
There's some split. I have read some negative things. It's too samey, things like that. Yeah, I think it's gotten enough love, though. But you're right, it's probably a sleeper hit.
There you go. My 83 was 58 last year and 24. It was actually 7 at one point. Sam will cheer when
7? Wow.
Sam will cheer when this one goes off my list. And the reason this one is dropped is because I never play it anymore.
Lost Cities.
It's Battleground Fantasy Warfare.
Oh.
I still like the game a lot. I still think it's a fantastic game.
They're putting it out, I think, with miniatures now.
They are not.
That would be
You just made that
else.
up. Actually, there was supposed to be a second edition reboot of the game, which may or may not have
With
occurred.
origami.
No. With origami.
Which would be better than
Anyway,
it is now.
no, I think this game is great. I like the huge variety, and I like being able to have a miniatures game where I get a ton of stuff. I know Sam doesn't like it as much as the cards, but I think it's a lot of fun, and I like having huge armies and being able to pick what I have. That's a lot of fun for me. I don't know. Let's hope that we can see this one again someday. I wouldn't mind seeing a 2.0 version of this with some more streamlined rules, I think would be fun.
This would probably do well in that kind of setting.
Yeah, probably.
Hit
Whatever.
it.
All right, my number 83.
Hater.
My number 83 is probably, it's the kind of game that Days of Wonder has become known for as far as how pretty it is and the component quality of it and that type of stuff. Yamatai is
Wow.
my number 83.
See, I know it's on his list.
It was
I'm surprised it's on yours.
It was number 84 last year. So he just doesn't pay attention from year to year, apparently.
I'm just glad you like it more than Five Tribes. I know you weren't as keen on that one, but Yamatai is...
Yamatai
Maybe
is,
I'm trying to-
really cool.
To erase my memory and have a fresh look at your top 100 list each year.
Maybe so.
I wish I had to try to do that. It just goes.
Yamatai has everything that you would expect, I guess, at least something that I would expect from this level of game, a mid-weight game from Days of Wonder. It's got special powers that you can employ. It has, you're trying to get your engine going, I guess you could say, score the best scores and that type of thing. I'm drawing a blank here. I'm brain farting really, but the main thing that really pops this on my list is the fact that it looks so
It looks
good.
pretty.
It is a
so
great looking game, and it turns heads as people walk by, and I love it when games do that. So
Pretty game
I just
walking
also
down
enjoy
the
the gameplay
street.
as well. Yamatai. 83.
What's wrong with this cat?
I don't know.
All right, my 83 is also from Days of Wonder, in fact, and it's one that was recently on your top 100, Cleopatra and the Society of Architects. This one is, if you squint your eyes and kind of look the other way, it's basically a Catan-inspired game in which you are collecting groups of cards and then building something with those cards. So instead of 2 wood and a sheep, this is going to be 2 marble and whatever the other things are. I don't know. I forget what all the other things are right now. It's one that I only these days will play with 3 players. I think it just sings at 3 players. More than that, it's a little long. And but if I'm thinking, if I have 3 players, I want to play something gorgeous and something pretty approachable. Cleopatra is near the top of that list for me every time. Really enjoy this game. Great theme, great corruption mechanic in it. One of the first ones that did that.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic
I
design.
was just thinking, stay away from the corruption.
Yeah, stay away from that. Cleopatra and the Society of Architects, my 83. It was 94 last year, so in fact it climbed up a little bit.
Interestingly, neither one of those Days of Wonder games made. I only went up to the 150 for People's Choice. Neither one made those lists. Just not as popular, I guess.
Yeah.
People's Choice number 83 was 55 last year. This is the second year it's been on the list, and that is Mysterium.
Yeah.
This is a game that I think is going to fade fast, just because I don't know why. I think it fits a very specific group of people because it's cooperative, but one person is playing half the game.
Yeah. It's definitely it feels gimmicky, for sure. It's a good gimmick.
You guys
It's
both
a
like
good-
it more than
Yeah.
I do. I
Yeah,
find
yeah.
it okay.
It's not on my list.
It's not on my list either.
Oh, but it's interesting, and I know a lot of people still really like it. So Mysterium. My number 82 is another game. It's the second year that it's on the list, and it's another party game. And in fact, I very rarely play this as a game itself. It was 56 last year, but I still like this one a lot. That's Concept. Concept is one of those games that we get out and we just play, and no one really keeps score. And when we're done, we put it away. Telestrations is a similar type thing. This is one of the games that I'm not even sure if I even own it at this point, because Melody might have taken it to college with her. But I really do like concept. I like the idea. It's 20 questions with pictures.
It's Pictionary without having to draw.
I go with the 20. Yeah, I guess, but it's Pictionary with like concepts.
Is that why they called it that?
Was that the original title?
My goodness.
Pictionary with Concepts was the original title, but Parker Brothers was like, I think that's Parker Brothers.
Wow, go. Wow, I can't believe I did that.
All right, my number 82 is my favorite version of Carcassonne, and that is Amazonas.
Oh, wow.
For now,
Amazonas.
I'm calling Safari will hit his top.
Maybe we'll see. But Amazonas is really fun. I liked the simplicity of the tile laying aspect of Carcassonne is great. Building a puzzle, as it were, cooperatively, but still competitively, because you're all building on the same puzzle, which is the cooperative, quote-unquote, nature of it. But it's competitive. You're trying to beat everybody else point-wise. Well, Amazonas adds into that simplicity a racing game. You're trying to get down to the river the fastest, and you get more points the further you get down the river and what place you're in. So I really enjoy this twist on the tried and true foundation of Carcassonne. So my number 82, Carcassonne, Amazonas.
That's one I haven't played yet.
82 for the...
Wait, let me do mine real quick.
Oh,
here.
yeah, you're right. I guess we should let Z go.
My 82, I'll give you just a minute. My 82 is Forbidden Desert. This is my favorite of the Forbidden games. It's one that takes the mechanisms that were sort of implemented originally by the designer in Pandemic and some of its offshoots, and it adds a couple of new twists that I thought were worthy of a brand new game. This concept of a storm that is shifting around the board and throwing sand everywhere. And then the other thing I thought was really clever is discovering artifacts in the desert by having two tiles point you to the location where it's going to crop up. It feels very thematic and mechanically interesting. Really neat co-op game. Forbidden Desert, my 82. It was 49 last time, so it dropped a little bit, but it's in there.
This one just missed the People's Choice. It was 103.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, so, which I'm trying to, I don't think Forbidden Island is higher, but it might be. I don't remember.
Okay.
We'll find out. Right now, though, the People's Choice number 82 is Clans of Caledonia. First time this one's hit the list. This is one of the big, heavy Euro games of the moment that people like. I would imagine we won't see it in a couple of years for that reason. These kind of go in favor now. But it is a pretty solid game. There's a lot going on. It's actually, the box is like Pandemic box, and you open it and the pieces just fall over the place. It's too small of a box, but a lot of good choices, a lot of trading this, and you're building things on the board which will help you produce resources as to where you build them and what type of things you build. So, good game. Clans of Caledonia.
All right.
All right, the last one for me today. This is the third year it's been on the list. It was 52 last year, 83. Now it's back down to 81. Yeah, it just moves around a bit, that's all. And this is one of the ones I probably played 3 times since last year or so, which is rare for these games, and that's Stockpile.
Yeah.
I think I might have played this with you at some point.
I've played with you, yeah.
I forget why. I just played it at a convention.
It was new. When we played it, it was still new.
This is one of those games when I'm at a convention and someone's around and says, "Hey, what should we play?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, Stockpile works well," and it really does. It plays. It's a stock market game that plays quickly. You have a little bit of insider knowledge. You can kind of push your luck. Like I don't think this one's gonna bust, so I'm gonna invest in it. It's really fun, and it really put Nauvoo games on the map for me. So Stockpile.
Yep.
I think I've played that game once.
Well, you're not huge in stock games.
As far as
if I recall
stock market
correctly.
games go, this is one of the best ones. That's honestly not saying much, just that statement. But it is not a bad game.
Yeah, that's a Z thing, though. A lot of people like stock market games.
Yeah, of course. Well, again, I should probably mention anything I say in any of these lists is in my opinion.
Own opinion.
Half of mine are my opinion, the other half are fact.
He does crowdsourcing for his opinions.
Crowdsourcing.
Do I think that? Do I? Yet? Okay, you're wrong.
All right, my number 81 is it was my number 95 last year.
Oh, it's gone up.
It has gone up a bit, and no, it was actually a standalone expansion for a game.
Called this.
So it's Xenoshift Dreadmire.
Wow.
Xenoshift Dreadmire. I like it better than the original, I think mainly because of the weather mechanism that Dreadmire employs.
I think you could just say Xenoshift and you're fine anyway.
Yeah, that's true. It, doesn't really change a lot from the original to this one, but I like the weather mechanism the best in Dreadmire. You can employ that in regular Xenoshift as well, I guess. But Dreadmire is very fun. I really enjoy it. It's one of those cooperative card games where you're trying to defend a base, and you each have different sectors of the base that you're trying to defend. So it's cooperative in the sense that you can help other people with the aliens that are showing up in their sector. But generally speaking, you're kind of you're the one that is taking care of your sector, and if your sector falters, it makes everybody else's sector a little bit more difficult. But Xenoship Dreadmire is really a fun game. I really enjoy it a lot. It's a very difficult game. It's a mean game in that it's not easy to beat, but I love it. It's really fun. Xenoship Dreadmire, now my number 81.
Interestingly enough, this is one that does not do that well in the popular opinion.
No, it doesn't.
And secondly, you normally don't like hard co-ops, and this one is extremely hard.
It is. I think it's the cooperative nature of it, I guess. How other people can help you, you can help them. The theme
is strong. It's basically Starship
very strong
Troopers
as well. Yeah, it's Starship Troopers basically. So, I usually don't like it, but this is one of the ones that I do.
Yep.
This kind of game, rather.
All right, my 81. I'm normally quite a fan of mid-weight Euro games, but there's a few things I expect from them. I want them to be have an interesting concept. I want them to be usually very clean designs and have simple leaps of logic. Automania, which is my 81, definitely does that. It makes a lot of sense. You are building cards. You are then taking that card, putting it on a ship, shipping it to either Europe or the US, and selling it for victory points or cash. Victory points can be, I guess, whatever you want them to be in this scenario, but I really like the fact that the game is so straightforward. It's bright, it's well implemented, nothing seems to be something that could have been cut in editing for the game. Big fan of that. It's just such a streamlined concept. I actually just played this not that long ago, and still love the game. Just really great stuff. Was my 64 last time, 81 right now. Not much of a change, really, in the big scheme of things. Automania, my 81.
Yeah, I really like that one. I'm surprised more people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, the People's Choice 81. This is the second year this has been on the list. It was 52 last year. I wonder how long it will stay on the list because they keep coming out with expansions for it, and that is Imperial Settlers.
Yeah.
This one, I think, are they releasing a new expansion for it this year?
There's a new expansion coming out at Essen called Amazons.
Right, and that's the 6th or 7th faction.
That it would be the 7th faction because there's 4 in the base game and there are 2 already.
Right. Yeah, and it just keeps doing really well. It's building. One thing that you'll notice from Portal games is they have a few systems and they keep building off them. This one's built off 51st State, but this theme resonates with more people than the post-apocalyptic for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So there you go. Well, there we go. We are 20% done. Woo! Cool. Top 100, but the games keep getting better.
The games from here on out just get better, folks, but in my opinion.
Until next time, I'm Tom Bassel, in my opinion.
I'm Z Garcia, according to the popular opinion.
I am definitely Sam Healy. I've been Sam Healy for my entire life, and I will be until I die.
And that's a fact.
Yes.